I'm just wondering. If that is. Don't it- didn't even know what it is.
Yes,
But it is.
I just say no and just get that signed. And then say we have something else to get signed. Well, we're gonna run through it and then it's gonna be one-on-one GPS building. So, you sit there, I'll come closer later.
I can't really read that up right here.
Yeah, Josh is here. Hi, boys. Tell me something good that happened this week. Sound like a win-win, someone or you doing the right thing, customers come first, commitment in all things, communication. I'm trying to learn these, by the way, so I'm gonna say them every week until I memorize them. Commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork together, everyone achieves more, trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, success, results through other people. So within our Y4C2Ts, tell me something good that happened.
So got
Ooh. Like on a date? Yeah.
see it. And it's kind of interesting just because like she's an investor and it's a unique situation where she's buying somebody.
Oh. So it's her investment property
Investment property. It's not
for a
like-
specific
like
person.
per se. It's like higher, younger. Something.
Yeah,
So single families,
nice.
but she doesn't want to be in like a low income. She wants something really nice. Which like Murray is like old.
Yeah.
Just kind of like old until you get out towards like Cottonwood.
Mhm. There's probably some pockets where they've done like some upgrades to most of the area.
And there's some like gated communities.
Uh-huh.
Why do they want her? Because the lady that's moving here works there. So she wants to be like really convenient for her. But also she's like, this chick's booty, so she's Cottonwood Heights would be a lot nicer. It's not that far away. Yeah. So I seen her like, so there initially like 8 properties like in Murray, like 5 minutes away from where all the area
Yeah.
houses. So instead of signing or something, 15-minute drive to the chick's work. Like very
Yeah.
type houses that are like 800, 750. So we'll see. We'll see.
Dave, anything good going on with you?
Yeah, I got my commercial guy working on financing, so
Sweet.
hopefully he'll figure out what he's gonna do. He didn't respond to he didn't send anything to the mortgage guy that I got him in touch with, but he had the bank, so
Good.
they want less of a down, they want less of a reserve than the mortgage guy wants. Cause I guess they wanna have 10% of what the value of the property is.
In reserves.
Get reserves on hand so that he can run the business, so he's not spending all his cash on the down payment.
Mm,
Could go belly up within the next 3 months.
yeah. Yeah.
And so working with.
Interesting. Interesting hoops.
Because we know what your, yearly value is.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's getting close.
Okay. No under contracts, closings, listings. We got a couple on the team that just went live, new listings. One in Wellington. It's like outside of Price. Yeah, go to no, it's like a nice house, like 850. Like
2 million up here.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's huge lot, complete brick house, like almost 6,000 square feet. Like it's a cool listing. So if you want to move far away, it's a good one. No one's new here. Oh, oops, forgot to update this. We got our last Ignite class tomorrow with Scott Heaton, and he's doing negotiations, I think is what it is. So should be good. And then we're gonna start up January 3rd. So get ready. Coming up, we are not going to do basically any meetings for the next 2 weeks. So no team meetings on Tuesdays or Thursdays. We're not going to do power-ups all next week, and then like basically to Friday will be our last one of the year. And then, but if you guys need stuff, I'm around, I'm still working. I just don't think many people will jump on. Kids get out of school, parties. You guys are 1099 contractors. What are the chances you're gonna wake up at 9 o'clock and talk to me? And then the office is closed 24th, 25th, and November or January 1st. So no one will be here. So low expectations there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty low. The rest.
Hey, Maddie. Okay. Today we're gonna talk about sending and showing houses at 1 o'clock. So for our foundation training, it's like how can you share houses with your people, and then what do you need to do to prep to show houses? So good little foundation training. By the way, I actually got a closing because of that class. Gosh, 2-3 months ago, I was teaching that class and I was like, here's something that you should do. And I did it in the class and we went under contract that weekend. So come to that. And with this, you are the three that are here, so you got to tell me. I'm pulling. Oh, John. Oh, good. I was gonna say he said he was gonna be late. He had to run to the doctor. Where do you guys want to focus next year in these meetings? What would you like to see out of these? Taxes. I already have that on my list. Maybe the 19th. Oh, I need to change that 19th.
Higher.
Yes. Yes. I wonder if I could get someone to come in to teach about taxes. I have a,
Yeah, but with all the rules and how much it changes, that's probably some of the best money that you have. On advice for how to set up your, because you're not only getting advice for like what taxes you owe, you're also gonna get advice on how to set up your, because I have the same guy that does my taxes, he set up my LLC. And so, you know, he can help you with like when to do a sole proprietorship versus an S corp, how to, it's like all. So the S corp is a designation for an LLC, right?
yep. You start an LLC and then,
LLC.
file one
depending
paper.
on where your money comes in, that's what the tax guy is gonna tell you. This is how we're gonna be able to save you the most amount of money on how much you made last year. And
Yeah.
so there's different things that you can do once you start that LLC, like you know, you can claim your mileage, you can claim your vehicle. No, you can have a sole proprietorship, but you.
Cause that's where you are now. You're a sole proprietor.
And so you're gonna be paying 30+% taxes on every revenue that comes in, plus you're gonna be paying, how much is it, like 15,000 in, it's like 6 or 7. Yeah, you got $1,000 employment taxes that are on top of your regular tax rate.
You're not putting any income from Well, they can't tax money that you don't have coming in, so that's why. The sole proprietorship is the designation, but the LLC. You know, I wouldn't, you don't need it set up for this year, obviously, but I would set it up for next year.
Yeah, okay, taxes and entity structure. Love to nerd out on that, so we can do that. What else? What would help you reach your goals in 2025? And I'm going to ask you the same question later.
On rentals, like maybe some example of rental agreements, if any, there are included on the office, then, you know.
Yep,
Did you look up that guy's website? Yet? Literally use this contract yesterday. Okay. It's good. It's but his is like way inclusive.
you want to hear the funniest story about this, and you'll laugh because you know Clay. So Clay Winder used to have the one that he would just share with anyone. He was like, "Oh yeah, like I'll share this to you." So I was using his for a while, and one of my renters didn't make a payment 1 month, and I was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to pay me a late fee." And she said, "I was expecting that. How much is it?" And I was like, "Oh, that will be in my rental contract. I know that for sure." Pulled out my rental contract, looked at it, didn't mention a late fee at all. I read through it. It didn't talk about,
If it's not.
no, technically, well, I just made up a number, but if she came after me, I'd be like, uh-oh, and I'd have to give her the money back. But it missed out on a lot of things like that. Like what happens if she never pays rent? There was nothing in it about that. And so I was like, I need a new one. So
Yeah. I was even looking at the one I've been using, and it's like a $35 fee plus $10 a day.
yeah.
It needs to be more steep than that. It's been a
Yeah.
couple of years.
Well, I like it based off of percentage, because if you have like one room that you're renting out, $35 plus $10 a day is a lot. If you're renting an $800,000 house, that's nothing. You're like, I'll be late. Who cares? With this learning, would you rather do in these more like help you guys improve and feel confident in things, or like knowledge that you will directly use? For example, like we did the practice negotiation game where I'm like, you're the buyer, you're the seller, here's the property, work it out. Or would you rather be like how you can buy a rental property? Or a good mixture? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. All right.
Creative financing, potentially.
Ooh, yes. Yep. Yeah, I've had a lender come in before and explain those. So, okay, get a lender for that. And then I want to, yep. How else could you do it without the lender?
Subject to.
Yep. Yep. And then see if we can bring tax guy in, or I can talk somewhat about taxes, generic ideas,
Creative generation.
lead gen competition.
Well, like
Mhm.
a social media class,
Okay.
somebody who specializes in marketing, social media or something like
Yep.
that.
We'll record some TikToks while we're in the class. Okay.
I don't know if that's a good example.
I know. Record some reels. Okay. Okay, because there's three of you. I want each of you to answer this question. So whoever can come up with a best one, shout it out first. So you're talking to a friend who wants to buy a house. Like they have mentioned this to you, like I want to buy sometime. And they say, I'm just gonna wait for rates to come down. Go. What do you say? How do you respond to that?
Rates to hit the advantageous rates.
Yes. And did you see what happened to mortgage rates? They went up. So, okay, let's take a sidetrack with this. So the Fed rate is the rate which banks borrow money from each other. And it is usually like an overnight type borrowing. But because they can do that, they base all of their like savings accounts and things like that on those. Now, mortgage rates are long term. So they are actually something that investors can buy. If you had a whole bunch of money, you could go buy mortgages and you would want to see a return. Typically, most mortgages are paid into for 7 to 10 years. Like you go get a 30-year mortgage, you are either going to move or refinance within 7 to 10 years. There's very few people that start paying and pay for 30 years and then are just done. They move or refinance. So as an investor, you know that you want to see your return, and it's similar to a 7 to 10 year investment type of an idea. And then you're going to get paid back your initial money. So for example, with Josh's buyer, let's say I had $1 million just chilling because I'm like that. And I just kept it in cash because I'm dumb. And then Josh is like, hey, I have this buyer that wants to buy an $800,000 home. And I say, great, I'm the lender. Here we go, 6% interest rate. This is all really dumb. I would never do this, by the way. But I give his buyer 800 grand at 6%. In my mind, I know 7 to 10 years from now, I am going to get paid off whatever I own, whatever they owe, they'll probably pay me off because they're either going to refinance or sell that house within 7 to 10 years. And I'll be making interest payments the whole time. So it's the most similar to a treasury bond, a 10-year treasury bond. So if you want to see what interest rates are doing, the best way to kind of check it out without knowing the exact rate is to look at a 10-year treasury bond. And those go up and down based off of a lot of different factors. I was actually chatting with ChatGPT today about it because I don't understand why they are so like crazy. Depends on the dollar. If the dollar is strong, like that is both good and bad for it because then like someone in China, if their currency is weaker than the dollar, it costs them more money to buy a 10-year treasury bond, for example. And technically it's cheaper for us, so more people want to buy it that have dollars, but less people that don't have dollars want to buy it. Then it's looking at like the whole economy as a whole. So like how's the job market, how's the stock market, how's inflation, and all of those will change on this 10-year outlook of what people are taking. So even whatever the Fed does is kind of made up. The one thing that they do have power that can change things is they always call it monetary policy, but they just buy these treasury bonds. And that will have a direct impact on the mortgage rate. So that's the only thing that the Fed does that will change that. So I'm waiting for rates to come down. What do you say? The best time to buy is now. Elaborate on that. Like convince me that I should buy now. Or we should at least have a deeper discussion.
The sooner you buy, the sooner you can get tax incentives for being home.
Hmm.
If it's an investment property, the sooner you can claim depreciation and get it right off taxes. The sooner you acquire appreciation. As soon as mortgage rates go back up,
Yep.
and so what's that gonna do to your price? It's gonna cause the price to go up. Appreciation. Or everybody else. Or you could- percent
That's a good one. What else? What do you guys say? So he went, the best time to buy is now because. And let's things out. What else would you guys say?
just a lot. Said potentially. You can throw in finance.
Yep.
And which do come in, you can refinance. And it won't cost you anything potentially, you just roll over the closing costs. to your mortgage. You know,
So my cousin who bought a house like 3 months ago, they had the same worry. They're like, maybe we should just wait for rates to come down. I said, you know what? If rates come down, you can always refinance. We can even find like a no cash out of pocket type thing where they wrap all of that into the loan and you can refinance. She got her rate at 6%, like 6% clean. When I drove past the billboard this morning, which is always one of the like lowest advertised rates that you could possibly see, like chances that your buyer gets what is on that billboard are slim to none. And it said 4.9. So right now, she has 0.5% better than if she would have waited till now to buy. So what does the future hold?
I don't think rates are gonna get back down to where they were. Not next year.
Nope. Do you know what the outlook is for rates? Where they're gonna end in 2025?
6%.
Between 6 and 6.5%.
being said.
Yeah. Home prices, do you know what they're supposed to do? They're supposed to go up 2 to 4%. That's what all the experts are saying. So home prices go up, mortgage rates stay the same. What does that mean for you? If you buy 1 year later, you have a higher price. So why would you wait? Yep. As a homeowner, you made 4% on your money. And it's more than that because it's a 4% appreciation on the whole house. You're only putting a sliver of that as a down payment. You go put 10% down and then the home appreciates 4%, you're really appreciating your money like 40%. Yeah.
Traditionally, Utah has appreciated higher than national average too, so.
Yep. Yeah, so if we take that, and it's 2 to 4 nationally, what if it's 4 to 6? Average,
Utah been averaging about 6.
yeah. Probably for the last like 20, 30 years. No. So we could figure this out if we really wanted to. If we went to kwutah.com, that's our regional website. It has a link for agent resources and we can see the market report. Also, January the 19th, it's coming up, might be the 19th. They are doing a market report that we're going to do together as a team. Watch that. So mortgage rates will not come down. If you own a house, you can always refinance and get that new rate. So for you waiting for home or mortgage rates to go down, you should also be betting that home prices are coming down. That would be the only bet you would want to make if you were waiting. If home prices go up, you want to be in no matter the cost. Because the cost of your interest is going to be lower than the appreciation that you gain. So you will be in a bit better spot. It won't be liquid money, but it will be in your house. Yeah, I was telling someone about this a couple years ago. I refinanced my house. My payment stayed the same, but I took $130,000 out, used 30 grand to pay off my solar, and I had $100,000. Like, if I were to ask you, like, how could you come up with $100,000 right now? There's not very many ways that homeowners or that renters can do something like that. If you're like, you need $100,000, where do you go get that? Homeowners often can be like, I can tap into my equity. I think I have $300,000 equity. Like, worst case scenario, I could sell my house and walk away with $300,000. Like, that's a lot of months of rent, but you can't do that as a renter. So get in the game. Okay, let's talk business plans. But I have questions. So let's imagine however hard real estate has been for you, it starts to get a little bit easier. You feel like your pipeline's filling up, people are making offers more often, and it's starting to roll. What is your like someday goal that you want to achieve through real estate? Like we're talking 10, 20, 30 years from now. Life question. All the sports, no matter what they want.
They want, I want to be able to go back.
You want to be in lacrosse and hockey and football where you have to pay all the money for all the pads. You want to go crazy. Wait, do you have kids, Maddie?
No, but.
Okay, future kids. Okay,
It's future home.
yep.
Pick up house that, you know, my mom, and dad can maybe have a mother-in-law and a little, I take that. I love to host. I want a house that has like.
A hoster house.
Open into like living, so I can talk and cook and like, that's what, it's just family and friends.
Johnny, he built his house where his whole basement is made for hosting. Like it's literally like has a bar on one side and it's got like booth restaurant seating on the other. He's got 4 TVs that all connect together, so you can either turn 4 things on or have one massive TV. He's got games and like, yeah.
Yeah, it's $1 million in Mason, right next to the temple.
Yep.
God, it's gorgeous.
Okay. So you're gonna have an amazing house for hosting and anything that your kids want to do. You're just gonna
Like, I want them to
borderline spoiled.
be real, like,
Not
yeah.
entitled, but get to do whatever they want. Yeah, I like that. What about you guys? Where are you going?
I think just the ability to, sounds kind of like cliche, but like financial freedom.
Mm.
You build something, you build a business that's systemized. So where you don't feel like you have to put in a ton of effort to get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
I want to see that one very sort of.
Yes.
A house that's big enough for my family, but not quite big enough for my.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I want to have like that separate house on my lot where, yeah, where like my mom lives as like a, hey, come babysit my kids. We're gonna go out. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Good.
Just to get rid of that.
That would be fun. Dave, how about you?
Got some rent space.
Some passive income.
Some supplemental income. Just do enough to supplement the stuff.
I love it. So if that's the someday goal, fast forward me to 5 years from now. Where would you need to be so that you are on track to hit that goal? Plus inflation, so. Like, do you have one rental? But within 5 years? Do you have multiple? Like, what are you thinking? So you'd have 5 rental properties in 5 years from now. I like that. Yep. Yep, that'd be good. That would be great. Okay, so to be there in 5 years, where do you need to be 1 year from now? We kind of already did this with Dave. He fast forwarded into this. Like, it's like buy property a year. I'll end at 5. Sweet. So Dave needs to buy a property this year.
24 transactions.
24 transactions.
Yeah.
Where do you need to be next month? And let's bring this down from, because there's two sides to this equation. There's the lead and the lag measures. So, weight, for example, if you wanted to lose weight, the lag measure is actually losing the weight. You step on that scale and you see what that number it is. Well, it depends what you did the day before to get there. But we don't tend to look at the things that we did the day before. We'll look down at the scale and be like, why is it not changing? Like, well, I ate pizzas and cookies for dinner and washed it down with a Mountain Dew. I didn't stand up at all yesterday, but I gained a pound. Like, what's that all about? So the lead measures would be the things, the activities that you put into to get the lag measures. So with weight, it would be like diet and exercise. If you eat fewer calories than you burn, you lose weight, right? Am I far off? Okay, good. Good, because that's my game plan. So if I'm not doing, so you want to lose a pound? We know that 3,500 calories, is that what it is 1 pound of fat. So if you want to burn a pound of fat, you need to figure out how to burn 3,500 calories. It's either calorie deficit or exercise or a combination. Boom, you can track that and figure out where you're going to be. So if you wanted to be like Josh being at 24 closings next year, January, what are some of the lead measures you would have to do to ensure that you're getting 2 closings a month? What's your diet and an exercise?
So you would have to figure out how many people, you have to kind of like dive in and say, hey, if I talk to 100 people and 100 people want to close 200 people in January.
Yep. Like the 3,500 calories, like we can get very dialed in like that.
Exactly. So you're gonna have to figure out, hey, if I talk to 100 people, one person closing per 100 people I talk to, and it's up to 200 people. You kind of go from there.
Yeah.
And you can make that more sophisticated for sure. 100 people. Truly set appointments now. Appointments that you get. How many people will actually sign a contract with you?
Yep. Yep. You can break it all down. Gary Keller calls that the economic model. If you wanted to close 24 transactions, how many people do you need to have a signed agreement with? Which is usually 75% more. So let's call it 30 for easy math. I know that's not right, but then probably like 35. So then if you need that many people signed contracts, how many appointments do you need to go on to get that many signed contracts? It's usually whatever your goal is, you got to double it for appointments. So you want 24 closings, you probably need to go to 48 appointments, which is about 1 a week. Because not many people want to meet the week of Christmas. Week of Thanksgiving's usually out. You're probably on vacation a week. You're probably sick a week. Boom, we're at 48. So you need to figure out, how do I set an appointment each single week? Starting January 1st, which probably starts now. So you can do this for, if you here to the next month, we already did this for a week, right? What do you need to do today? So this is called goal setting to the now. So we're gonna do low random activity. So flip this over. Okay. Flip this over. So I want you to put a dot in the very middle of the page. So this is your starting point, by the way. So I want you to put your pen on this dot. And then imagine that something comes up and you need to move or change. So move somewhere else new on the page. So draw a line somewhere else. Fast forward, something else happens, do that again. Do it 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 again. Okay. Did you guys end up where you wanted to? Oh, there was no goal. I wanna see what you guys drew. You got a little snake here? Ooh, turned it into a spiral. Maddie, what do you got? You just are all over the place. I don't like that design. I feel like it should be a shirt, like starting of a shirt. So if you don't know where you want to end up, you can go wherever you want, right? Like Cheshire Cat, kind of an idea. Like, which road should I take? Well, it depends on where you want to go. I don't know where I want to go. Then it doesn't matter which road you take. So you have a fuzzy, at least, idea of where you want to go. The clearer that you become, the easier it will be to work it back. And then when you work it back, we have a pathway to move forward, right? And Josh even alluded to this. We could get so clear that we could say, I need to talk to 200 people this month to be able to set the appointments and get the closings and blah, 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 blah. We might not have the conversion ratios or statistics for that. That might be a little challenging for us. But we can at least do activities. Like if I didn't know that I needed to eat 3,500 calories less or exercise the equivalent of 3,500 calories to burn a pound, I would know, like, I just need to eat less and exercise more. And that would get me on the right pathway. And then I could dial it in more and more as things go. So that's kind of how we're going to do things. So we're going to work out on the GPS on this backside to define what we want, like what is our goal for that. We're just going to do this for the first quarter. Gary Keller has all of his businesses do this for the whole year. I struggle doing it for a year because 3 months in, I change everything that I do. So GPS stands for goal, priority, strategies. This used to be called the 135, so you might hear of that every once in a while. So if someone's like, oh, what's your 135? Same as GPS. I like GPS because where are you going? So here's a couple of rules around the GPS. The goal should be an easy to track metric that you know if you won or lost. And if you hit this goal, you are winning. For example, could you go on 48 appointments next year and not close any transactions?
Potentially, yes.
So appointments probably is not our best metric to track as a goal. Closings would be way better because that means money in the pocket. You could do GCI, right? Income earned, things like that. Those things are very real because if you win, you actually won. So your goals should make you win. The priorities, they are actually in order of priority, right? Josh, if I wanted to lose weight, should I focus more on eating right or exercising more? Eating right, priority number 1. If you eat right and never exercise, can you lose weight? If I eat like crap and exercise, can I lose weight? Probably not. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult. There's nothing more disappointing. Yeah, there's nothing more disappointing than going on a jog in the morning and you're like, I feel so good. And you look at your watch and you're like, I just burned 500 calories. And I know that I could eat that like that. What is that? 2-3 slices of pizza? My kids ate donuts for breakfast. My kids ate donuts for breakfast. And I'm like, if I ate a donut with you, like there goes the whole little workout we just did that morning. So priorities are important. How it works is if you don't need to do anything on priority 2 to help priority 1, you don't even look or work on priority 2 until you've done everything on priority 1. As soon as you get done through your list of strategies on priority 1, you move to priority 2 and then to priority 3. If you never get to priority 3, that's fine because we're going to work out a system for this. So, and they should be metrics to see if they're easy to win or lose as well. Strategies are specific enough that someone else would know what to do. Or like if you sent this to me, I would know your game plan. It's not cryptic. For example, my son, he plays basketball and his coach said, great, today's our last practice. for the rest of the year, I want you to set some goals on things that you want to do. One of his goals was to exercise more, like get stronger. That is very vague. What does that mean? The second one was to make 100 shots a day. That's way better. Still a little vague, right? Because I can make 100 layups way easier than I can make 100 3-pointers. We could be a little more dialed in. So if you can define those very well, then that will help a whole bunch. So here's our little paper. We're gonna actually fill this out. I wanted to give you a bad example first. So put 3 homes under contract. That's probably a great goal, right? Again, that is the lag measure of what we're trying to accomplish. If we did that, then we're probably headed towards hitting our goals. A bad example of a priority is SOI, sphere of influence. Well, what does that even mean? What are we going to do there? Talk to more people. That's very vague. First time home buyer seminar. What are you even doing with that? What does that mean? Call more people. That's basically the same as the first one. And go to lunch with friends. Well, great. Open houses. I'm going to put out sign and respond in WhatsApp. So if we wanted to make this a little bit better, we could say we are going to put 3 homes under contract, same goal, but then my priority is to have 3 appointments with my sphere of influence. So I'm going to follow the DTD to 100%, and that is going to be 150 calls. I'm going to get 10 people to the first time home buyer seminar. Maybe right now you do the investment seminar that's coming in January. Reach out to 5 people a day from my SOIB and try to build a relationship. And I'm going to have, these are the people that, like, if you saw them at the grocery store, you kind of like, oh, hi, and then keep walking. I saw someone the other day at a basketball game. Her husband name is Trevor, and her name is, I have no idea. Trevor's wife. Brittany, maybe? It's like a name like that, like Ashley, Brittany, Stephanie. Yep. Like she was born 1980, late 1980s, and she has a girl name. Like one of those names. Anyway, like I haven't talked to Trevor in long enough that I don't even know his wife's name. But so like he'd be one to be like, hey, just ran into your wife the other day. So crazy. What are you up to nowadays? Probably be a great one to reach out to. So someone like that. 12 one-on-one lunches. Call up a buddy every single week. Hey, let's do lunch. Let's get some on the books. Something like that. Set 3 appointments from an open house. I'm going to partner with 2 teams or agents that have consistent listings and do all their open houses. I'm going to set up a listing alert for new listings in the brokerage. And then I'm going to try to respond on WhatsApp. And then the third one, maybe door knocking. So let's build out yours right now. All together. And I have some advice as we're doing it. So your goal, what's your goal?
Q1.
For Q1. If we were to fast forward and March is ending, and you're like, I did it. I had a successful first quarter. What happened? Live question. Who's got something? 6 closings. Okay. Okay.
4 closings.
And you don't have to let others impact what you say. Because if you said 1, I would be okay with that. If you said appointments, I would be okay with that. Now, again, we talked about appointments aren't winning. Like you could have appointments and not win. But if you have 0 people in your pipeline, to find those people and get them all the way through, that might be difficult. And so if you think like, who are the 4 people, Dave, that I have that could go under contract in the next 3 months? If you don't have those 4 people, a lot of your priorities might be find those people. If you're like, oh shoot, I have like 10 people that could go under contract, then your priority number 1, let's get those people under contract. So here's 2 ways to go about doing this. Like I was telling with this example, if you have the people, your priority should be get them under contract. If you do not have the people, your priority should be find those people. I default to always put find the people. It's lead generation. How easy would real estate be if right now you had 30 people that said they wanted to buy or sell a house?
Pretty easy.
People-
It- I'm not saying you have to work with all 30 of them, but you had 30 people that you wrote down a list of 30 people. Yeah, you could probably go get one closing this month if you knew 30 people that were looking to buy or sell. So I default to lead generation strategies. If you have enough leads, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary. The one thing, right? What's the one thing such by doing everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? It's usually find more people. One day you guys are gonna work with a jerk. Like a huge D-bag, and you're gonna be like, I hate working with this person. And if they are the only person that you're working with, that is 100% of your world is working with a jerk. If you have 30 buyers or sellers on the back burner, you know what you do? Say, you know what? You're a doucher. I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
Go work with Dave. I'd never do that to you, Dave. We did used to have an agent that we would always send all of our jerk clients to. We thought it was funny because he was like too blunt to people, and so we would always send him the jerks. He never worked with a single one of them, but it was always funny to us. So if you go to this lead generation type strategy where you're like, I'm just gonna find the people, everything else will work out. How I would suggest doing it is figure out like your sources, right? So like this one, sphere of influence, open houses, door knocking. That is this made up GPS on how they're going to find that. Now, what I would do in that scenario is I would ask myself, so like Josh, 6 closings, let's pretend your sphere of influence is 1, which by the way is the most common for most people. Their priority number 1 is their sphere of influence. So we're in a group think with Josh here. We need to find 6 closings only from your sphere of influence. What do we do? Yeah, well, and they can help you too, because they're gonna do it for 4 or 3. But only from your sphere of influence. You're not allowed to do anything else. If they are in your phone or you know who they are, they fall in this category. How do you go find 4, 6, or 3 closings?
Let's say start calling is your first.
So calls, make that more specific for me.
Some with DT, D2, 100%, and figure out how many calls you're gonna make per day of what.
Okay, I like that. So X number of calls a day for DTD2 stands for do the database to. That's where you're like call 2 letters of the alphabet every single day. So like this week is I and Q. So you don't have to call anyone. Next week is Y and Z. So you also don't have to call anyone. I don't know, Corey Zimmerman, he's a Elevate Home Warranty.
Yeah, there's a few Z's.
Yeah, Z's a little more popular. Y's, I don't think I have any Y's.
Yes.
Oh, Yates,
Jorgensen.
Jorgensen, yep, there's 2 agents. There's a Cindy Yates and a Jen Jorgensen. Her son Cameron, look, we just found 3 people we need to call next week if we were calling agents. So, okay,
6 touches.
36 touch, make that more specific for me. And we're talking about quarter 1 too.
Actually. If we're talking about goals for 36 touch, you'd be adding. Say. 2 or 3 new contacts per day to your 36 touch.
So if you added 2 contacts to like, let's call it like you were doing an email newsletter. And then you set them up to get like a save search neighborhood nurture type idea where they get an email notification every 2 weeks. So you send them 3 emails every single month. Something about housing. Do you think that you would be able to close business from that? Does that sound good? And how about you call them too, because we're doing the DTD2. You call them every quarter. Probably get business from that. So 2 people a day. We'll go to our low end. You're working probably 60 days next quarter. So that's 120 people you would add to your database.
And then if we are looking to get 10 people to.
The investment
investor
seminar,
seminar, what do you think? Like 10% of people you invite are gonna come to something like that?
these are so hit and miss.
Yeah, so I mean, you gotta invite 100 people to try and get your 10, I guess.
Yeah,
Just because it's hard to get people to give up their evening, especially when they're working. Yes. I think that doing the venue helps to commit people because they're like, oh,
yep,
and that was something that Angie used to push when she was in this spot too. That's what she said to me one time. It's changing it to having people RSVP with the menu, turn her attendance rate from 10% to 90%.
The people not showing to my wedding. Only buy the meal that we did not get refunded.
It's enough to-
Actually, they were not sending someone with any left.
Yes,
I was quite peeved about it, actually. They got something on, because we went directly to the lane afterwards. They sent us to the airport and did send my phone with me with 2 takeout and 2% off. And that was it. I was like,
Alfredo, that sounds delicious. That sounds like a good lunch.
it was delicious.
So here's the funny thing about the get 10 people to the seminar. I don't care if any of my friends come. They're probably more likely to buy or sell a house if they do come. But me having that conversation is usually enough to like move the ball along. If they're ready to buy or sell, when I call them, I'm like, hey, random thing, I don't know if you invest in real estate or would like to, but I'm doing a investment seminar teaching people about investing. Have you ever thought of it? And you want to come? Like, oh, you know what? No, I don't.
I wish people would just.
But but I would love to sell my house. Like that's a conversation. Or I have people that are like, man, this is so cool that you're doing things like this. Like I can't come. Why don't you call my friend? And then I called our friend and they're like, I have no idea why he gave me your number because I'm not buying, I'm not selling, I don't want to invest. I think he felt bad for you. That's kind of the conversation how it goes. So, but then I have a person that I can reach out to often. So, okay, back to this question. So we're getting 6 closings, or 4 or 3. So we're adding 2 people a day or 3 people a day, so 120 in the quarter. We're setting them all up on that 36 touch that we have rocking. Wait, do you have a 36 touch rocking? As of right now. Okay, so we're gonna get that rocking. That could be one of the strategies. Oh, the 36 touch is just the consistent marketing plan. So, it's a combination of emails, calls, texts, mailers, and events.
Like,
Yep,
Now, if I understand correctly, there's already like templates for 36 touch systems.
Yep.
in place, Right, all you have to do is plug in a name.
yep, yeah, if you have a name and an email, you can push play and you can have them get emails. There's a bunch of really good written ones, if you just want a written one. We're working out to have like a more visually appealing. I think the one in January we want to do is a market update. It's like, what does 2025 hold? Like, we just had a whole conversation about it. Other people might think that's interesting. So putting that on, something a little more visually appealing, could do that. And then sending them houses. To be honest, people care. They like to see houses. People like to shop. Let me send you an email every 2 weeks. I'm not gonna bug you if you don't open it. I'm okay with that. So if you do something like, I'm gonna create my 36 touch plan, I would put a deadline on that, on this strategy. So then like I could look at your 36 or your GPS and say, oh, it looks like you're gonna have your 36 touch rocking by January 15th. And on January 15th, I could say, okay, homework is due. How's your 36 touch? Alright, so you got your 36 touch, you got your people that you're adding in there. What else would you need to do to get that many closings? From your sphere? Yes, get some referrals. Have a referral plan that you were running. Yes, that would be good. What else? We're in idea mode. There's probably no bad ideas here. Well, there probably might be, but.
This is something I've been thinking about brainstorming for the last like week or so. Is like trying to tie a conversation with ChatGPT this morning.
Yeah, I do every day.
Trying to tie fitness into either like investing some amount
Okay. Interesting.
and
Interesting.
being so that fitness can feed the other for me.
Uh-huh.
You kind of like refer back and forth to those two things, because a lot of the business I've been getting from real estate is already coming from personal training.
Yep. There's an agent. He actually just graduated the new agent team, but he has a full-time job, so he never came in. But he is not going to quit his full-time job because he's a barber. And every single one of his closings that he has had this year, which is 5 of them, by the way, all came from people while they were sitting in the chair and he was cutting their hair. So, like,
Just thinking about really like
do another push-up or you have to buy a house.
like doing an event called like building wealth and being
Yes,
target like investors and like just the well-being, like kind of like everything with Johnny Dale.
yep, that could be cool. That could be cool. Okay, any other ideas that you have that you should be doing?
I like the idea of being able to like unique needs. So for different sources, like kind of creating lead generation.
Okay, let's talk about other sources. So, by the way, I told you, how are you gonna find 6 from your sphere of influence? What's your goal? What was your goal for closings?
6.
Why do you think I said 6 for your sphere of influence then? If you have 2 other priorities that you can list out. Cause your next one's gonna be 6 as well. And that number 3 one's gonna be 6. Have you ever set a goal and not met it? Do you get further than you would if you didn't have a goal, do you think? So, we're gonna basically set 3 priorities. If you get 1/3 the way there, you will hit your ultimate goal. So it's protection that we're doing. So whatever you're trying to do, sphere of influence, how do I hit 100% of my goal with my sphere of influence? Because if that happens, great. If you get 1/3, great. Then how do, like, my next lead source, like open houses, how can I hit 100% of my goal just through open houses? Sometimes I get you to think a little bit differently. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. Let's see. You are business owners. This is a hypothetical. And you sell
Real estate.
swimming pools. I can see the building across there, Marbella, landscaping and swimming pools. How do you go get, wait, did you do landscaping? Just pools. You just sell pools. You have a whole crew. How do you go get people to buy pools?
Network, pool. Pool places that sell.
Pool boys? Okay, go
Building or something.
door hangers on the ideal clients. What else you got? Everyone's looking at Dave because he didn't say anything.
How do you sell pools? You do it in the summertime.
You prove they're just sitting around right now. They're like, I would love to dig a hole and do all that work right now, so you could swim by June.
Network with realtors. Yeah.
Okay, go find. What was theirs?
Google Ads.
Do some ads, some online marketing,
With builders. Reach out to builders.
builders, realtors, other people,
Community pools.
community or HOA pools. Yep, could do that. What else? Okay, well, I have a less hypothetical question for you. You are all business owners. You are in the business of helping people buy and sell real estate. So, how do you go get people to keep you busy? Same exact question. Let's even use some of your same answers. You could identify a target market of someone that you could potentially help and go door knock, hang flyers, talk to those people. Like go directly to the source. Yep. Yep. So with pool owners, we wanted someone that has a big enough yard. That was our constraint that we did. Now, we know people probably live in their house 7 to 10 years. That's probably a good timeline. So we could find a neighborhood that was built 7 to 10 years ago and see who needs to move out. It's an interesting thought. Vendors, you talked about going to the pool supplies, builders, real estate agents. Is there a parallel in real estate for that? Go to builders, go to developers, go to vendors.
Do open houses.
Google Ads, that was a thing, came up, that is a thing that you can do. If you do Google Ads, by the way, before you do Google Ads, make sure you get Google verified. Get at least 30 reviews. And then everything becomes cheaper with Google. Otherwise, you're gonna spend a ton of money for really bad leads. So side note there, 30 reviews on a Google local business page. And we can go down that rabbit hole one day. Ooh, maybe that's a good one. Like let's SEO you. Okay. What else? Business owners, now you need to go find people. Your ideal customer is someone that is looking to buy or sell real estate now.
Just like she was saying, target potential sellers. Renters that are looking to buy.
So go to big apartment complex.
Title company figure out. And
Mm-hmm.
specifically having a flyer on there.
There you go. It's an interesting thought. Yeah, go to apartment complex that are not student apartment complexes. Something like that.
You know, it's just not, it's a 2-bedroom detached, it's 1,500 a month.
Yeah,
It's the cheapest of labor levels,
dang.
and you don't have to be. So the taxes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big thing, like
You're about the same. About the same.
Oh, these new luxury towns that they're renting nowadays that are popping up everywhere. They're 2,500 plus a month. So they're significantly more.
Yeah.
even 1,500 was. That's like. Be better for us to get by.
So there's two ideas in the idea of marketing. Now that just left me. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't even remember both of them. Dang it. So I guess the idea here is then you can identify your target person and figure out where they're hanging out. Like, and that is their house or maybe somewhere, right? You could look digitally, you could look physically, golf clubs, restaurants, areas, shopping, like where does this person go? So like we could have done the same thing with the pools, like people that own pools, where do they go? Like maybe they're at the golf clubs. So how could you advertise to them or network with them at a golf club? Like that could be a whole thing. So I want you guys to think of 2 other ways that you are potentially going to generate leads to hit your goal. And then what are your strategies that you will go to do that? So just like this, if you're like, I'm going to do an open house, I do not want it to be passive, like hopefully it will happen. I want a very defined priority that you know if you won or lost. Ideally, it's I get this many closings from it. I am also okay if it is a very just like lead measure type idea. Like I am going to hold 20 open houses this quarter. I don't know how many that would be a week, but it sounds too many.
So you only got 12 in a quarter, you got
12.
12 weekends in a quarter, so if you set a goal for 10, that'd be pretty.
That would be easy to do. Yeah, if you did 20, then you're like, how do I like work in some weekdays? Or how do I do 2 in a day?
To do Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
Which, by the way, let's see, it was October. An agent from Ogden reached out and said, hey, can someone help me do an open house? And we had 2 agents at the same time say yes. Like literally both of them texted me directly and said, I want to do it. I was like, dang it, how do I pick? So I let her know and she's like, I do 2 open houses. It was her personal house. And so they did one on Friday night and they did one Saturday afternoon. Guess which one did better?
Friday night.
It was the exact same. Same number of people showed up Friday night as a Saturday afternoon. So I don't think it matters when you do it. People just typically do it Saturdays. You know what? If you don't want to work Saturdays, I'm fine with that. Don't work Saturdays. You still want to do open houses? Do them on the weekdays.
Yeah, you could do a 4 to 7.
Yeah, they're a little bit harder now because this was pre-daylight savings.
Yeah, you gotta do them in
So
weather.
yeah, so right like Q1, that might not work. You want daylight. I think that's the difference. If you don't have daylight, you probably can't do an open house. Unless it's on Halloween, and then that's probably better. So figure out your 2 things. What are you going to do? So it's your sphere of influence should probably be number 1. What are your next 2 sources? How are you going to go find business? Put them in priority and then list out the strategies. What would I need to do? Or like imagine that a brand new agent came in and they said, I want to do open houses. I'm going to get all my closings from open houses because I don't know a single person. And they said, how should I get closings from an open house? Like, what would you tell them to do? Even if you've never done one or only done one, like you probably have some ideas of things that would work.
Signs.
Lots of signs, some snacks, make it awesome. Let's go invite the neighbors. Post to your social media so anyone that you do know. Try to get a database and then market to them. Right? Have some ideas of other homes if they don't like that one and have like times where you could literally show them later that afternoon. Hey, I'm gonna go see this house 3 doors down. Nope, that's a band. 5 doors down. At 1 o'clock when the open house ends. Do you want to just pop by and come see this house? Oh, but to show you this house, I actually need this agreement signed. That says that I'm going to be your real estate agent. But we could do that. And then we could go see that other one and that other one. And all of a sudden you have a buyer broker and you're showing a whole bunch of houses.
So I did a dude yesterday, it's like a photographer guy,
Uh-huh.
does like real estate photography. And gave me like a open house kit.
Mm.
And one of the guys basically asked like, hey, when you going on? Do an open house down the street. And then, basically, have you fill out a little thing potentially. Like, hey, you wanna know what your house is? If you, fill this out, I'll let you know, I'm gonna give you 2 movie tickets.
Mm.
I guess, UCar has a deal with like movie tickets where it's like flat $8 or something like
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my movie tickets there. Yeah. Took my kids to Red One the other day. Thought that would be a good idea. Yeah, it's The Rock and Chris Evans. It was decent. Yeah, it's free now. So mad about that. I spent like $50 on movie tickets.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, this
So-
weekend. I'm like, it's gonna be on Disney Plus, and then I'm on, like, not gonna go back to this.
Okay, here's your homework then. Yep, I have a whole bunch. So finish off your GPS. Write it all out. Send me a copy. When you send me a copy, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how much feedback do you want? Like 10 being very honest, like, tell me this sucks. 1 being like, be very nice and just be supportive of this. And I will do that, and then tell me how I can help hold you accountable. So we can accomplish these big goals that you guys are setting. And remember, as you're doing this goal is leading to the someday goal. So when you set this goal, like, I'm gonna work out every morning type of an idea, it is not, I'm gonna work out every day because I'm gonna work out every day. It's, I'm gonna be healthy so I have energy to do all these fun activities, and that I will be able to kick my kid's butt in any sport for the rest of my life. Like, that's the kind of level that I need to be working out every day. So, remember, it's all about that long-term goal. We're just doing that short-term now. Then how you should use this is each week, you should look at this and think, what do I need to do, and plan out your week accordingly with this GPS. So, like I said, finish off your GPS, send me a copy. How much feedback do you want? And then how I can help hold you accountable to this. And if that's like, we meet one-on-one in my office each week, I'm up for that. If it's like, text me, I'm gonna say, no, you text me, you're being accountable. And so then when you don't text me, I can text you and be like, you didn't text me. So
DTD2.
it stands for Do the Database 2. I don't know what version 1 was. We hate it. We're against it. It was no good. It's a dumb name, but I don't know what I would call if you were gonna call 13 weeks with 2 letters that don't line up. I don't know, maybe ChatGPT can come up with a better name for it. Okay, we're done. Go finish this. Send me a copy.
Sweet.
Oh,